Sorry for the long post, but I feel completely drained. For context, we've been together for several years. We have a 2-year-old daughter, and I would say our relationship is complicated. Not bad, but definitely not what I imagined it would be. But that's a different story. Right now, I just want to understand if I was wrong in this particular situation. So it all started on Saturday morning. No, wait. It actually started on Friday evening when my partner left for work. He works nights, which is difficult for the whole family, but we've managed to adapt. On Friday, he worked late, very late. He didn't get home until 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. I knew that. I understood that he was tired. I'm not heartless. Our little girl, our precious 2-year-old, had an injury. Nothing terrible, but serious enough that I had to take her to the children's hospital. Imagine what it's like to see your child crying in pain and know that you have to act immediately. Panic. Adrenaline. Maternal instinct at its peak. It was around 11:30 in the morning when I realized we needed to go. My partner was asleep. He had only slept 4 hours after working the night shift. I understood that. Honestly, but I had an injured daughter and I needed support. I woke him up. I said it was already 11:30 and that we needed to take our daughter to the hospital. Do you know what he said? He said I was being ridiculous. Ridiculous. Our child was injured, and I was being ridiculous because I woke him up after 4 hours of sleep. But then he softened up. He said he wasn't angry, hugged me, and fell asleep again. Just like that. He hugged me and passed out. And I stood there with a crying child in my arms, realizing that I would have to deal with this alone. I went to the hospital alone with my daughter. It's a large children's hospital. You know, one of those huge ones where there are always crowds of people, where children's cries echo through the corridors, where every parent looks as exhausted as you do. I spent the whole day there. Not a couple of hours. The whole damn day. There was so much going on. Registration, queues, examinations, more queues, tests, waiting for results, consultations. My child was crying. I tried to calm her down. Other children were crying. Their parents looked just as lost. The fluorescent lights were blinding. The smell of antiseptic was everywhere. Cold plastic chairs, endless waiting. And my daughter, she was so scared. She clung to me, and I felt my heart break every time the nurse approached her. I tried to be strong. I tried to smile. I tried to make everything less scary for her. But inside, I was on the verge of breaking down. The situation was terrifying for me. I'm not one of those people who can easily handle hospitals. The noise, the hustle and bustle, the anxiety, it all built up inside me with every passing hour. And I was there all alone. A single mother with a terrified child in a huge hospital where no one seemed to care how long you were there. Somewhere in the middle of the day, I realized I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't. I was physically and emotionally exhausted. My daughter was whining. I was on the verge of tears myself, and I desperately needed support. I texted my sister. Just, I can't cope. 3 words that were incredibly difficult for me to type, because I had always been the one who coped. The one you could rely on. The strong one. But at that moment, I was falling apart and I needed help. I tried to call my partner. I dialed the number over and over again. He didn't answer. And I couldn't call too persistently because, here's the kicker, in the past, he had gotten angry about my constant calls. Yes, you read that right. My partner got annoyed when I called him too often. So I was afraid to upset him even when I desperately needed his help. My sister tried to call him. Nothing. He just didn't answer. He was probably sleeping sweetly while I was falling apart in the hospital corridor. Then my sister did what I probably should have done myself, but didn't dare to do. She called my partner's mother. My sister had my partner's mother's number. They had gotten it a long time ago and got along very well. Thank God for that, honestly. My partner's mother tried to call her son. Also to no avail. He simply wasn't answering anyone. Then she told my sister that if she couldn't reach him, she would come to me herself. To the hospital. To support me. And she came. This wonderful woman, who didn't have to do this, came to the hospital to help me with my granddaughter. I almost cried when I saw her. Finally, I wasn't alone. When she arrived, she immediately realized that her son had no idea what was going on. He was just sleeping at home, blissfully unaware that his child was in the hospital and his partner was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. She was furious. She told me about it later when we were driving home. She had lashed out at him. She scolded him in a way that only a mother can. And you know what? I was grateful to her, because I was too exhausted to be angry. After all that, when I finally got home late at night, I felt overexcited and completely exhausted at the same time. You know that feeling when you're so tired you can't sleep? When your body is shaking from exhaustion, but your brain is still working at full speed? I lay in bed and thought about everything. About how much I do. About how unfairly it's all distributed. I am the main, no, not the main, I am the only caregiver for our child. I'm the one who gets up at night when she cries. I'm the one who changes diapers, feeds her, bathes her, puts her to bed, reads her stories, comforts her after nightmares, treats her bruises, kisses her forehead. All of this is me. I take care of the house. Cleaning, laundry, cooking, washing dishes, taking out the trash, shopping. Again and again, an endless cycle of household chores that never ends. I take care of the animals. Feeding, walking, grooming. Another responsibility on my shoulders. I handle all the finances. I keep track of all the bills. I make sure everything is paid on time. And it's not because I'm a control freak or anything like that. It's because my partner has ADHD, and when he was in charge, the bills just weren't paid. His mom would get letters saying the rent hadn't been paid, and now she would have to pay it. Can you imagine the embarrassment? His own mother found out that we weren't paying the rent. So I took it upon myself. I took on another responsibility because there was no other way. Because it had to be done. Because I'm the one who gets things done. And another wonderful detail, both my daughter and I were sick at the time. I didn't mention it because it seemed like just another minor thing on a long list of problems. But yes, we were both sick. I felt like crap physically on top of everything else. The next morning, Sunday, I woke up exhausted. I had hardly slept. Anxiety, exhaustion, resentment, it all swirled around in my head all night. Around noon, my partner got up to go to the bathroom. He had come to bed around 5 or 6 in the morning after work. So he had slept for quite a few hours by that point. When he came out of the bathroom, I asked him, "Are you going to get up?" He replied, "Yes, soon." I said, "Okay." And then I saw him get back into bed and close his eyes. Again, he was going to sleep some more. It was around noon. Our daughter was awake. The house needed attention. I was exhausted, and he was going to sleep some more. Something inside me snapped. I went back to the bedroom and started talking. Calmly at first. I told him I was exhausted. That yesterday had been terrible. That I had spent the whole day alone in the hospital with our traumatized child. That I had to ask other people for help because he wasn't answering his phone. That his mother came instead of him. That I was tired. That I do everything. Taking care of the child, the house, the animals, the finances, everything. That we are both sick. That I'm trying to hold on, but I'm stressed. That I would be very grateful if he got up and helped me. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse him. I just explained how I felt and what I needed. Then I left. I didn't want to pressure him or stand over him while he woke up. I went to the living room and turned on some Christmas movies for our 2-year-old daughter. We sat down on the couch. She snuggled up to me, and I tried to focus on the screen, trying not to think about how much I just wanted to cry. An hour passed. A whole hour of Christmas movies, children's babbling, attempts to pretend that everything was fine. I went back to the bedroom, I don't know why. Maybe to check if he was awake. Maybe hoping that he had woken up and was ready to talk normally. He was furious. I didn't even know what had happened. I left calmly, came back an hour later, and he was absolutely furious. I tried to hug him. Just hug him. I was exhausted, emotional. I needed connection, comfort, something human. Do you know what he said? "That's really weird." I froze. What? Why is it weird? I'm just stressed and wanted to hug you. If he had said, "No, please don't hug me right now because I'm still waking up," or "I need some space," or anything normal, I would have accepted it. I would have understood. I'm an adult. I can accept rejection if it's expressed respectfully. But he was so rude, so contemptuously cold. It hurt me to the core. After everything I'd been through, after I tried to calmly explain my feelings, he rejected even a simple hug and called it damn weird. Then he got up. He started getting dressed. He was going somewhere. And that's when I couldn't take it anymore. I started explaining how he had upset me, how painful it was to hear that, how unfair he was treating me, how I needed support, not rejection. Do you know what he said? I only have two options, ignore you or yell at you. I was shocked. Why? Why only those two options? Because of the way you talk to me. How do I talk to him? I calmly explained my feelings. I asked for help. I didn't yell, accuse, or humiliate him, but he continued. He continued. This is all a damn test, he said. It's weird that you looked at your watch for an hour. What? A test? I was looking at the clock? What is he even talking about? It turns out, and I only found out about this now, that he had set an alarm for 1 p.m. He was going to get up at 1 p.m., and I was supposed to know this telepathically. I didn't know about the alarm. I just asked him to get up, and he said soon, and then went back to sleep. How was I supposed to know he had a set time to get up? But for him, it was a test. Apparently, I was testing him, looking at the clock, waiting to see if he would get up on time. As if I had nothing else to do but play psychological games with him. And then he just left. He turned around and left the house. He slammed the door. So hard that our 2-year-old daughter, who was watching cartoons in the living room, got scared and started crying. He slammed the door so hard that he scared our child and left. I stood there in the bedroom, completely stunned. Then I heard my daughter crying and ran to her. I picked her up, held her close, calmed her down, and told her that everything was fine, even though it wasn't fine at all. My little girl was trembling in my arms. She was frightened by the loud noise, frightened by the atmosphere, frightened that her dad had left angry. And I sat there with her, stroking her back and feeling tears rolling down my cheeks. So here I am, sitting here now, writing all this at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep. My partner came home late last night. We didn't talk. He went straight to the bedroom. I stayed in the living room because I can't be around him right now. I keep replaying it all in my head over and over again. I'm trying to figure out where I went wrong, because he made me feel terrible. He made me feel like I was a demanding, ridiculous, testing bitch. But I just asked for help. I just asked him to get up after he slept for hours, on a day when I was exhausted after yesterday's hell at the hospital. Am I wrong? Seriously, I don't understand. Maybe I really am being ridiculous. Maybe I really am too demanding. Maybe I shouldn't have asked him to get up after his night shift, even if it was the day before and he had already slept enough. I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm the problem. That I expect too much. That I should handle everything myself and not ask for help. But then I think about how he didn't answer a single call when our child was in the hospital. How his mother came instead of him. How I spent the whole day there alone, scared and exhausted. I think about how I do everything in this house. Take care of everything, manage everything, and what does he do? He works. Yes, he works nights, and it's hard. I admit that. But is that all? Is work his only responsibility and everything else falls on me? I think about how he called my desire to hug him damn weird. How he said he could only ignore me or yell at me. How he accused me of testing him when I was just trying to ask for help. I think about how he slammed the door and scared our daughter. And I don't understand why I feel guilty. Maybe I need to give more context about our dynamic so you understand why I'm so confused. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. It's a pattern. When I ask for help, I often get irritation or accusations that I'm too demanding in return. When I explain how I feel, I'm told that I'm talking to him like that, as if asking for support is some kind of attack. I started beating around the bush with my requests. I started apologizing for needing help. I started feeling like a burden in my own relationship. And you know what's the worst part? I started to doubt my perception of reality. He is so sure that I am wrong, so adamant in his accusations, that I start to think, maybe it is me. Maybe I really am acting ridiculous, demanding, strange. Is this called gaslighting? Or am I really so wrong that I deserve this treatment? I love him. Or at least I love the person he can be when everything is fine. When no one is asking for anything. When there is no stress, when there is nothing to do, he can be sweet, loving, funny. But life isn't just good moments. Life is hospital visits and sleepless nights and unpaid bills and endless housework. And I can't do it all alone. I just can't. I'm so tired of pretending that everything is fine. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of coping with everything. I'm tired of being made to feel guilty for asking for the most basic support. Am I wrong for asking my partner to get up and help me on Sunday afternoon, even though he worked the night before? Am I wrong for expecting him to wake up and function after sleeping for 6 to 7 hours? Was I wrong to be upset that he didn't answer his phone when our child was in the hospital? Was I wrong to try to explain my feelings and ask for support? Was I wrong to want to hug him? Am I wrong for being upset when he called it weird and accused me of testing him? Am I wrong to think that slamming the door and scaring our 2-year-old child is unacceptable? Or am I really being ridiculous, demanding, and playing mind games with him, as he seems to think? I need honesty. If I'm wrong, tell me. If I'm acting like a spoiled, demanding partner who doesn't appreciate his hard work, tell me. I'm ready to hear it. But if I'm wrong, if what I'm feeling is justified, then what do I do next? How do I deal with this situation? How do I explain to him that the way he treats me is destroying me without provoking another explosion? I don't want our child to grow up in a home where her mother is afraid to ask her father for help. I don't want her to think it's normal for one parent to do everything while the other gets angry when asked to contribute. I don't want her to see slamming doors and angry faces as the norm in family life. But I also don't want to destroy our family. I don't want to be the reason my daughter grows up in a broken home. I don't want to be the one who couldn't make it work. So here I am, at 3 a.m, exhausted, sick, emotionally drained, doubting myself to the point that I need strangers on the internet to tell me if I'm sane. Sorry for the long post. Sorry for the emotions. Sorry if this is too much information. I needed to get this off my chest. I needed someone to hear my story and tell me whether I'm crazy or not.